How do you even begin to describe a country as huge and complex as the United States? It's like trying to paint a picture of a hurricane. But you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can piece together what makes America, well, America.
So, what's the secret sauce? What really defines this place? Is it the incredible landscapes, the people, or is it something more, an idea? That's the big question we're going to tackle today. We're going to look at the facts, the figures, and the faces that tell this amazing story.
And right off the bat, you can see this place is a land of wild contrasts. I mean, think about it. In a single country, you can get lost in the neon canyons of Times Square, feel tiny in the vast, quiet deserts of Monument Valley, or explore the swampy wilderness of the Everglades. It's an urban jungle, a silent desert, and a tropical wetland all at once. Okay, so to get a handle on all this diversity, we've got to start with the basics, right? We need to look at the blueprint, the fundamental building blocks that give this massive country its shape. At its heart, the U.S. is a federal republic. So what does that actually mean? Well, think of it like a sports team. You've got the main coach, that's the national government, but then you have 50 different star players, the states, and each one has its own unique style in place. It's this constant balancing act between the team and the individual players. And the scale of that balancing act is just immense. We're talking 50 states, a population of over 340 million people. It's the third largest country on the entire planet, and it has the world's biggest economy. Even its motto, "In God We Trust," gives you a little clue about a deep part of its identity. But you know, America isn't just about big numbers or government systems. It was really founded on an idea, a huge, powerful, world-changing idea. And that idea, at its core, is freedom. So let's take a look at how that single idea built a nation. And you can literally see this idea cast in bronze and built with bricks. The Statue of Liberty, that's not just a statue. It's a promise of freedom to the entire world. Independence Hall is the actual room where the whole thing started. And the Liberty Bell, with that famous crack, is this perfect, imperfect symbol of independence. And inside that hall, in 1776, Thomas Jefferson wrote these words. This one sentence is the nation's entire mission statement. It was this radical, revolutionary idea of equality that has been the country's greatest ambition, and honestly, its greatest struggle ever since. But here's the thing about an idea like that. It doesn't just happen. It had to be fought for, expanded, and defended over and over again. By a general like George Washington who won the war for it, by a president like Abraham Lincoln who saved it, and by ordinary people who did extraordinary things like Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King Jr., and Rosa Parks, who all demanded that the promise of America should apply to everyone. Now, running parallel to this story of ideas is the story of the land itself, the physical stage where this whole drama plays out. And believe me, it is a land of extremes. Just try to wrap your head around this. The very same country is home to Death Valley, which is literally the hottest place on Earth, and Denali, the tallest and one of the coldest mountains in all of North America. That's the kind of insane environmental range we're talking about. And this landscape has inspired two kinds of wonders. You have the purely natural ones, like the jaw-dropping scale of the Grand Canyon or the raw power of Niagara Falls. And then you have the man-made marvels, these incredible feats of engineering like the Golden Gate Bridge and the Hoover Dam, built to tame that very landscape. Which brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, the people. The inventors, the artists, the rebels, and the icons whose sheer ambition and creativity have shaped not just the country, but the entire world. You've probably heard the phrase melting pot, right? Well, this is what they're talking about. It's a culture that's been forged in a fire of different influences, from the original Native American inhabitants to waves of people from Europe, Africa, Asia, and Latin America. That incredible mix is the engine for so much of its creativity. And that engine has produced some world-shattering innovations. I mean, from the Wright brothers figuring out how to fly, to Henry Ford completely changing how we make things, to Neil Armstrong taking that giant leap for mankind, all the way to Steve Jobs putting a supercomputer in all of our pockets. It's a history of just completely rewriting the rules of what's possible. And it's not just about tech. This cultural powerhouse has produced some of the most famous names on the planet. From the sound of Elvis Presley and Beyoncé, to the movies of Steven Spielberg, from the books of Mark Twain, to the absolute dominance of athletes like Muhammad Ali and Serena Williams. Their impact is everywhere. And of course, in politics, certain leaders have left a truly massive mark. You have Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through its darkest economic days and a world war. You have the historic election of Barack Obama as the first black president, a powerful symbol of change. And more recently, the presidency of Donald Trump has absolutely reshaped the political world as we know it. So, when you throw all of this into the mix, the land, the ideals, the numbers, the people, what do you actually get? Well, you get what people have called the American experiment. And that's the perfect word for it, because it's not a finished product, it's an ongoing project. It's a story that's defined by this constant push and pull between those incredible founding ideals, the massive landscape, and a population that is always changing. And that leads us to the final, biggest question of all. In a nation that is built on the very idea of change, the story is obviously far from over. So what do you think?